Welcome to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici, and over the course of the next 2 hours, we are going to be talking about love, relationships, right here on Fox Soul. And my co-host tonight, the very popular, the very successful Brim, is with us tonight, defending that PhD in a couple of weeks. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
How are you?
Oh, listen, not as good as you look. Nails are beautiful, hair slayed.
Wow, thank you.
I saw you out this morning out in the streets of, was it Burbank? Where were you at?
North Hollywood.
North Hollywood at Randy's Donuts, but not the Randy's. Is the Randy's Donuts you were at affiliated with the other Randy's Donuts?
It's the real Randy's Donuts.
But it was like a Randy's Donuts in the strip mall. It didn't have the big donut on the top of
They definitely have the donut.
No, Randy's Donuts has the donut on the top of the building.
They had the donut.
Was the donut on the top of the building?
Now I don't even remember.
Okay.
But they definitely had some donuts.
Okay. Listen, you can be a part of the show. We're inviting you to zoom into the show. Those of you that are in the chat on Fox Soul YouTube page, you can zoom into the show. There's a QR code right there on the screen. Take out your phone. You can scan it. You can chat along on the YouTube page, or you can call into the show as we make it very accessible to you. All you got to do is scan that QR code, and if you see something, say something. All right, we invite you into the conversation. We're going to be here from 9 until 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So listen, how's your weekend? How's your day? Or how's your?
It was great. You know, I'm on the radio in the morning, K-Day, and it's been really busy. So, you know, I've been getting all that done, having fun. It's been a great week.
We're coasting off into the weekend. Our first guest tonight is a social media legend. He's all about male empowerment. He calls himself the Angry Man. I'm a big fan, okay? And he's recently went viral for his response to Tracee Ellis Ross, among other things. Let's check this out.
But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it.
Crazy. Just get a cat and call it a day. Just go down to wherever, the pet store, wherever, get you a nice little fluffy cat and just pack it up. But you don't got to sit up here and try to disparage an entire generation of men just because you suck at relationships.
Public service announcement. To all the women online trying to teach men how to be men and telling us that we need to improve, men don't need to improve. Because a man is simply a boy who has improved throughout his entire life. It's you that need to improve, because a woman is just a girl who has gotten older.
Wow. Well, live from North Carolina, please welcome the Angry Man. Look at him. First of all, I love you. I've been a fan for a very long time. I just joined the Beano Nation. I just want to say I had to dust off my Rumble account and find that out. But thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you. And listen, let's get into it. You must get a lot of adverse comments from your take on a lot of videos.
Well, first of all, greetings to both of y'all. Greetings to the Beano Nation and the Fox Soul audience. Yeah, that's an understatement. I stay in trouble with Black Hollywood.
Why, though? I mean, because first of all, you are entitled to your opinion, and some of what your opinion is valid. I saw what Tracee Ellis Ross stated, and I'm not too far in age from her, and I didn't really kind of know what she was really talking about when she was saying, I thought it was kind of odd that she dates younger men. I'm like,
Well, yeah, it is odd. It's well, I'll put it this way. If we're gonna say that it's odd for older men to date younger women, then it should be odd for older women to date younger men.
Yeah, I think it was sort of like an intellectual difference that she was looking at. She was looking at somebody that was a little bit more inexperienced with life, and so it was a little bit easier to maneuver with them compared to an older man or someone around her age, and she was finding it hard to kind of deal with them. And I
Well,
find it
yeah.
very interesting that she's been single or has stayed single for a good chunk of her life. I think she's
Well,
a
we
very
don't
beautiful
know
woman.
that.
Well,
We don't know that
I
because
haven't-
she may not put her
Business out there?
dating business out there. So that's not something we can
The
really
Angry
talk
Man.
on.
This is successful Brim, who's the co-host of the radio station 93.5 K-Day here in the mornings here. Also, a clinical forensic psychologist defending her PhD here, so she's very well versed in the psychology world.
Okay.
Thanks for that nice introduction.
Yes, and a defender of women. I should say that.
Well, no, I'm just saying because you said she's been single and we don't know that.
I can't think of the last man I've seen her date.
Well, she may keep that private.
Okay.
I mean, she kind of made it clear when she made her statements when she referred to men in her generation suffering from toxic masculinity. I think the concept of toxic masculinity is a misnomer. I think it's taking male qualities and exaggerating them and, you know, making them seem negative. But when she's talking about dating younger men and it being easier, well, of course it's easier to date younger men. Younger men are much more impressionable, much more driven by their sexual desires, things of that nature. The dudes that's her age is, you know, they done been around the bend and back. They done seen it all. So a guy her age is going to be less likely to tolerate certain things that she might be into.
I hear men make that same argument too, though, when they talk about dating, you know, younger women and older women. You know, they want, you know, a woman that they feel is not set in her ways as well. So I honestly think it goes both ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, a man in his 40s or whatever, he's going to be more likely to want a woman that's younger because we all get set in our ways when we get older. You know what I'm saying? We all get set in our ways, and a lot of times when guys are in their 40s and they're single and they date women in their 40s when they're single, like a lot of times women, when they get to that age bracket, if they haven't already had a successful relationship, they tend to have like a negative viewpoint on men.
Can I just say this? You don't seem so angry. Like, you actually are making a lot of sense. You sound like a rational thinker. You know, and I honestly understand a lot that you're saying. So where did you get the name Angry Man?
Well, I mean, it's a nickname that a couple of my friends gave me because I used to, before YouTube, I used to do this at people's houses. So if I had a topic that if I saw something that got on my nerves or whatever, I would dust off my soapbox and I would preach about it for an hour.
Yeah.
From the you know, they'd be like, "Oh my God, why are you so angry? You're the angry man." It's just because I'm passionate about the stuff I talk about.
From the chat, Patrick Lawrence says Tracee Ellis Ross doesn't keep anything private.
We wouldn't know that. If she's saying that she wants to date younger guys, do you think she's telling who the younger guys are that she's dating?
You know, you make a lot of excuses for a lot of
I'm
things.
just saying, you just don't know.
You make a lot of excuses for a lot of things. Boy, I tell you. What's been the most controversial post based on the social media reaction that you've gotten?
I can't remember the lady's name. She's an actress who's played in a lot of classic movies. She played in Harlem Nights. She was the one that
Sugarfoot, Della Reese.
You throw it up in the air, turn into sunshine. You know what I'm talking about?
Della Reese?
No, not Della Reese. She also played in Waiting to Exhale.
Angela Bassett. Not Angela Bassett. Not the one that's Doc McStuffins. Nah.
I can't think of her name. Somebody in the chat's gonna know her name, but she she's
Loretta Devine.
No,
not
it's
Loretta
not
Devine. There's one. What's one other one?
Yeah, it's
Layla Rochelle.
It's the one that I think that's her. It's the one that was in Boomerang. She had Hammer Time in her shoes. You remember?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. So basically, she's older now, and I just found out recently that she's had some health issues or whatever, right? But she had gotten, she had gained weight or whatever, right? And so I posted a video where it's her and the
I can't remember the girl's name, the one that's dating God, I'm so horrible with names. My fault, y'all.
Okay.
It's the woman that's dating Jonathan Majors.
Oh, Megan Good. Okay.
Megan Good. So it's a video of her and Megan Good, and they're celebrating her birthday or something. And I saw her, and she had gained weight. And at the time, I didn't know she had a health issue.
Right.
In all fairness, right? So I have a reaction where I'm just making a face like, so,
Okay.
and the caption is, I know that ain't who I think it is, right? So pretty much all of Black Hollywood came after me for that. I had one of the ladies from SWV was mad at me. Sukiana was nice. She said something nice. She didn't really come at me like that. But Pierre, the comedian, he had an issue with it. I mean, the list goes on. It's like a who's who of Black Hollywood that was heated with me because of that, reaction. But like I said, I didn't know at the time that she had a health issue, and I didn't say anything negative. I just was surprised.
So you wouldn't date a woman who's overweight?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so you would.
Well, I think he was just more surprised that this sex symbol actress has gone from this bombshell from back in the day and didn't.
So was she still attractive to you is what I'm asking.
Oh, she's still a beautiful woman. I was shocked because the last time I seen her was in her younger days because I'm watching the movies from back in the day, Okay. So I hadn't seen her since then. So when I saw her and saw that she had gained weight, I'm like, oh, wow. So it wasn't me just trying to pick on her or anything like that.
You just gave a funny face reaction?
Yeah, I just gave the reaction.
So you didn't have ill intent, pretty much? No. Okay,
No.
it was
You just did one of those.
shocked. Like, wow, she doesn't look the same.
Yeah, because if I look, trust me, I'm the type of person. If I had some ill intent, I would have said something. Right. I would have said something really,
Like when you said that women are the ones that need to change and not men.
Yes.
Can you explain that? Are we gonna show that clip? Where is he gonna explain? What are we doing about that? Because that's a lot.
I think first of all,
okay.
As a man, you guys want us to change and become women.
What?
What women really want is men to become gay men or women. At the end of the day, that's really what you guys want, and you can't accept us for who we are, which is men. And sometimes we like skimpy things. Sometimes we like a little flesh. Sometimes we say things that are a little inappropriate. But that's just who we are at the end of the day. And you guys want us to be this refined thing, and it's like
that's far from the truth. Everybody can grow, men and women. Everybody has to change and grow into a better version of themselves.
Well, we are better versions, but that's still a piece of us.
The same as women.
But men, the thing about it, and the reason why I said that in that statement is because for men, for us as boys, the world has so many expectations of us. So when we go out into the world, we're expected to move a certain way, expected to operate a certain way. Everything about us as men is performance based.
Yeah.
And I can understand that, but doesn't that mean you have to learn emotional awareness and regulation? And that just isn't instilled in you. That is something that you learn through maybe trial and error or through attending therapy or maybe mentorship. You don't just have it in you. That's growth.
In order for women to expect men to have emotional awareness or to regulate their emotions, first of all, you have to make emotions valuable when it comes to men, because nobody cares when men are emotional.
That's unfortunate that you feel that way.
No, that's experience.
Well, I mean, it is unfortunate because I do hear men do feel that way, but you can't generalize every woman and say that.
I don't know.
I'm not talking about all women. What I'm saying is the overall society that we live in, the world we live in. Nobody cares about men's feelings, not men or women.
I give you an example. If a ship is sinking, who gets off the ship first? Oh, no, who gets off the ship first?
Well, of course, I get it. Women and children.
Oh, okay.
But that
And then
doesn't mean we
your
don't
dog
care.
and yeah.
That doesn't mean
So let me ask you a question then. Let me just ask you this question. So let's say you're dating a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you go to see a movie, and it's, let's say, a romantic comedy or whatever. And you're sitting in the movie theater, and you hear somebody whimpering, and you look next to you, and your man is boo-hooing crying. You're not going to view him differently after that?
No. Why would I view him differently? You want your man to be vulnerable. And the fact that he can do that in front of me and even in public, that shows that he has self-awareness. He's emotionally intelligent. I would want somebody to have emotional intelligence that can actually feel and have no problem being vulnerable.
Well, in all fairness, you may feel that way in that moment. You may be like, oh, he's really moved by this. But let the two of you get into an argument 2 weeks later.
Oof.
Y'all get into an argument, the first thing you're going to say is,
with your little crybaby behind.
That's why you was crying at that movie.
I think that is toxic, and that's a certain type of person. That's what I think.
That's you. You that person.
Not at all. I think that is very toxic. Everybody should make their partner feel like they have a safe space. As a woman, I should make sure that my man has a safe space. And as a man, I would hope that he would ensure that I have a safe space as well.
Well, with men, we're if you're raised traditionally the way I was, men always try to make a space comfortable for women and safe and all of those different things. But what I've noticed in my experience is it's rare when a woman gives a man a safe space for him to be vulnerable or for him to express his feelings without it being used against him later.
Oh my God, they're all calling you Cap in the chat.
Well, you know, that all comes from also, how you grow up, your attachment styles, childhood traumas. Your opinion is based on what your worldview is. And that's understandable because that's what you've experienced. And as you grow in life, because men grow and women grow, then you can experience something different, and that won't be your norm.
Well, I mean, what you're really talking about is you're talking about exceptions. And most everybody is within the bell curve, they're right there in the middle. And what I've noticed with the vast majority of men who frequent my channel, whenever we have discussions about these type of topics, there's a consensus that most men do not feel that they can be vulnerable around the women that they've been around because their experiences have taught them that it's used against them. They're not allowed to. This is the reason why you have so many guys online thinking that the only way for a man to be is stoic, because they know that the moment they show any vulnerability, that's when
weaponized.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's unfortunate to feel that way.
How many men come to you or on your channel?
Let's see. We've got almost 800K subscribers, and we only have about 13% women viewership.
So I mean, if he's got that big of a community and they're all vibing with his message,
I completely understand his message. I get his message, and it's just unfortunate that men feel that way. That's why in our community, we are pushing taking care of your mental health, making your mental health a priority, having these conversations to break the stigma, making sure that we grow as a culture together.
I think but I understand the hope and the want. I just don't. I think that people are wired a certain way, and I think women are wired a certain way, just like men are wired a certain way. And I wish that we can grow and evolve, and maybe one day we will.
You can.
But I think that there was a guy who says, listen, and this is sad, but he was like, never show a woman you love her.
Wow. All of this is coming from a hurt, dark place.
Well, it's not what it is wisdom about being, as you live long enough through life, you start to understand that, yes, maybe every woman is not the same, but you guys rhyme a lot. And so it's best and safe to kind of never show a woman you really truly love her, because once you show her that you love her or are in love with her, then she feels she got you. And then, once she feels she got you, then it's like, okay, the game is over. I always feel like you're going to move on. All right, Angry Man, last word, man. I'm part of the Beano Nation. I'm with you. Where can people follow you? Where can people join the Beano Nation? And I just want to tell you, you got a home here. So anytime you want to talk about something, you're more than welcome to come back. Because we love you, and I love your outlook.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, y'all can find me on YouTube at Angry Man. Also on Instagram at The Angry Man. It's either going to be at The Angry Man or at Angry Man. I think my Twitter is at Angry Man.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, Twitter, pretty much any of the social media. I'll pop up. You put my name in.
Okay.
Yeah, you seem so nice too.
And you also got Patreon too. And then for those in the chat, if you guys want to jump into the conversation, you can talk to Successful Yourself. Because a lot of them are calling cap on what you were saying.
And that's fine.
All right, we got more of this conversation. Scan the QR code on the screen and you can talk to Successful and for yourself. More of this conversation when we come forward. Thank you, Angry Man. I appreciate you. More late night love when we come forward.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici with Successful Brim.
Yes.
All right, you can join our show via Zoom by scanning the QR code right on your screen or hitting the Zoom link on Late Night Love on YouTube and be part of the conversation. Once again, thanks the Angry Man, who I have been a fan of for a long, long time. I'm always scouring whether it's YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok for content for this show. And every show I've ever worked on, and I've always consumed his media. He has the funniest reactions when he's looking at some of these videos.
He's definitely hilarious.
He's very hilarious, and so it's great to actually have a chance to talk to him. And shout out to all of his people in the chat that are watching the show. If you guys want to. Because a lot of them are calling cap on you and what you were saying.
That's fine. We all got our own opinions, and I'm cool with that.
Well, they said you were oblivious to how it is out in the streets because you're married.
Listen, just because I am pushing take care of your mental health and growth does not mean I'm oblivious. That means I am willing and my husband is willing to do the work.
All right, so Successful, our next guest is part of your network of the Black mental health professionals, right?
Well, yes. So I am very excited to introduce this next guest. He started off actually as an intern with my nonprofit organization, the Minority Psychology Network. So we definitely have a great show ahead of us. So from New Jersey, he has a nonprofit organization of his own called Psych Me Out. We got Dr. Garrick Bulier.
Dr. Garrick.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
That's French, right? Bulier?
Yeah, I'm Haitian. So yeah.
Hey, okay. We were trying to figure out was it New Orleans, but Haitian makes sense. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right. So you're part of your network?
He started off as an intern in my network.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he's a therapist?
Yes, he's a licensed therapist.
A licensed therapist. What got you into working in the mental health world, and how are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, so I'm a psychologist, and what really got me into psychology in general was watching Law and Order SVU. Initially, Dr. Wong, he was one of the side characters helping Olivia Benson and Stabler analyze the criminals, really just give them the psychology aspect of, what was going behind their mind and things like that. So it was actually really interesting. And then my interest just kind of branched out to the generalized field of why do people do the things they do versus why do criminals, do the things they do. And then I just wanted to shift that towards, more specifically the Black community on why do we do the things we do within our communities and, just relationships like that.
That's one of the most fascinating things that I find about psychology is why are we doing the things that we do? You saw The Angry Man on not too long ago, and he talks about his audience was predominantly male, and talking about how it's hard for us to be vulnerable with our women because a lot of times I think at some point a lot of us have had our emotions when we have been vulnerable with our women weaponized against us, and it really hurts when that has happened, and it also kind of makes you not want to be vulnerable with a woman with your emotions, or at least be selective about what you tell them, just because when it gets thrown back in your face and weaponized, it's kind of hurtful. So have you dealt with a lot of men who have gone through that issue, or have you done and what do you think about Angry Man?
Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely right. I think I feel like most men can tell you one experience they had when their vulnerability was probably weaponized against them, and that prevented them from wanting to open up, within other relationships. However, I think people also need to understand that vulnerability is also a skill, right? So if you don't really have time or opportunities to practice that vulnerability to open up with people, you don't really get used to it. And if you don't get used to it, you probably don't want to do it more. So there may be opportunities where people may have to be vulnerable, but they don't really know how to do it, particularly because they never had the time and experience to practice over and over again, because maybe they had that time or a few times when that vulnerability was weaponized. So I think when it comes to being vulnerable, just recognizing that it is a skill, is going to require grace. And just like anything, you may not be good at it at first, right? But with time and being in a space where you can feel safe, and being in a space where you can feel not judged, will definitely help with that.
What does that mean when you say being vulnerable is a skill?
I think when it comes to it requires you to be open, honest, authentic. It requires you to
regulate emotions.
It requires you to have a level of also emotional intelligence. Well, right? So it's a conscious effort. It's not something that's going to just come naturally. And I think sometimes people think oh, you just got to be vulnerable. No, if your background or your family or your environment never had a space for you to be vulnerable, you wouldn't really know what to do when it's time to be vulnerable, right? So I think it's important to give people grace, because if their environment never prepped them for that, you can't really expect them to know how to do it or how to do it properly.
So does that mean that you're selective about what you should be vulnerable about, or to who you be vulnerable with?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should be selective with who you're vulnerable with, because again, you don't want that to be weaponized. You also, it's privacy and boundaries are important as well. But again, I feel like, the spaces where you can be vulnerable is where you can feel safe, you can feel not judged, and you can just feel a space where you can just be yourself. And again, that authenticity piece.
You have clients that are both male and female. So do you hear the similarities across the board? Women also feeling like they're not able to be vulnerable in their relationship?
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes I have patients where they have a hard time being vulnerable, and their partner has a hard time being vulnerable. So they're both not being able to. They're both unable to be vulnerable with each other. And honestly, when it comes with that, it takes somebody needs to drop that drop that wall. And the thing about vulnerability is that when you are vulnerable, you give permission for the other person to be vulnerable with you as well. But somebody needs to take that leap of faith.
From the chat, Tamika says women have our vulnerability held against us by our men.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Right, it's not just a gender thing. People can weaponize vulnerability, whether it's a male against a male, a woman against a woman, a man against a woman, a woman against a man. So definitely, absolutely true.
What's the biggest thing that people are dealing with that come to see you right now?
Yeah, so I'm in downtown Baltimore, where I see majority of my patients. So a lot of it comes with some trauma, some depression, anxiety, things that's happening with financial issues, things that's grief, right? So it's a whole wide variety of different things. But I think ultimately a lot of folks just don't know how to process everything that's going on around them. And being in a safe space in therapy allows them that space to process and really have some time to understand and figure out coping styles to navigate those things that's going on.
You seeing anybody for that Trump derangement syndrome at all? Well, I mean, you're in the DMV, so I and then all the stuff that's happening with the federal government. So I know there's a lot of anxiety-producing stuff that happening down there.
Yeah, so I have a lot of patients. Well, one, I know, for 2028 to take the day off the day after Election Day. So it was a very hard day that following day of Election Day, and people are just worried, right? Because people's lives are on the line, people's jobs are on the line, people's families are at risk, right? Yeah. So there's so many things going on when it comes to certain administrations, and understanding that this isn't just somebody's like the president. No, their future, their jobs, their livelihood is at risk. People have families to take care of, food to feed, bills to pay. So having a space for trying to figure out how to process that, especially when your job and your life and your livelihood is at risk, is definitely important. But I always advise my patients and help them process about controlling what they can control.
So how's it dating for you as a psychologist?
Yeah, that is a weird thing though, like dating as a psychologist, because you're woke, for lack of a better word, but you're more awake and see things a little bit differently.
Yes and no. I think one thing about being a psychologist is understanding that I do have a level of self-awareness, but I also have areas where I need to improve as well. Just because I'm woke or I'm educated in the field of psychology doesn't mean I'm perfect either, and is recognizing that, and even when it comes to just giving space and giving grace and understand, okay, this person may be acting like this, and I kind of have an idea on why they may be acting like that, and also sometimes me being called out on, hey, you do this. I notice when you're nervous, you act like this. I notice when you're angry, you act like this. Because even though I'm a psychologist, I can only analyze myself so thoroughly. And there's things that I do that I don't really notice either. So it's nice to be informed and be told about myself with some of my behaviors and actions.
Well, I want to give you space to be ratchet, okay? So you take all the space you need and you enjoy it, okay? You just
wow.
Go ahead.
Very humble. I love it, Dr. G.
All right. Dr. Garrick, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. You keep doing good work out there in the DMV, man, and because people definitely need it right now. I know a lot of people, they want to go work for the federal government out there because it was a good job, and I know there's a lot of anxiety that's happening out there, but people definitely need a place to go to where they can kind of get their bearings and kind of, get the tools that they need to kind of just, either relieve stress out of their life or at least help change their life and put it in a different direction. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Yes, and we love seeing a black man doctor too. So congratulations
Absolutely.
to you. You really out here doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying. Thank you so much for that.
All right, Dr. G, thank you so much. All right, more Late Night Love when we come forward.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't it alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici with Successful Brim. You can join the conversation. Scan the QR code with your phone, zoom into the show, or head over to the YouTube channel, Fox Soul Late Night Love. You can join the chat. And from the chat, let's see, Nicholas says these issues serve as to exacerbate themselves if proper therapy isn't sought out. Dr. G, we just had on all the way from Baltimore helping people. He was your intern, and
Yes.
It's interesting to see that goes from intern into his own practice in Baltimore.
Well, he has his own nonprofit.
That's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Garrick, how do you pronounce his name again?
Bulier.
Bulier. Bulier.
Yeah, he's Haitian.
Okay, all right, Dr. Garrick. All right, love it. So former football player and current ESPN broadcaster Shannon Sharpe has been accused of sexual assault. There's been a lot of speculation about the identity of his accuser, but the rumors swirling in the media that she's a very young OnlyFans model. That inspired 40-something dating advisor Zakia Blaine to make this post.
Younger women out there, yeah, and Shannon Sharpe is a tale of what happens when your old behind wants to date a 19-year-old child. Yeah, how old is Shannon Sharpe? He's over 60, right? Want to mess with a 19-year-old girl? And now he's being sued for $50 million. And not even just a 19-year-old girl, but a 19-year-old got to step away from his job at ESPN. Step away, he probably won't get that job back. all because he couldn't just deal with a woman his own age. But child, based on the text messages, he need to be with a 19-year-old. He need to be with somebody young. Because clearly, nobody of sound mind and age and a woman in their right mind is going to want to deal with that. But hey, y'all got it. Have at it. Have at it. Have at it.
All right, so Shannon Sharpe is 56 years old. He's not over 60. He stepped away from his ESPN show so that it's not to be a distraction from ESPN, and he's going to return, I believe, in preseason for the NFL. You know what she was doing here? What that means?
Yeah, wait.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking on your blackness. That's all. I'm just making sure you see you still there.
Thank you for checking.
All right. And yeah, I mean, she has a point when it comes to why he's messing with a 19-year-old or 20-year-old OnlyFans model. He likes a certain type of intimacy, I do want to say, and maybe some women are down for that.
And maybe intellectual compatibility too. I mean, you never know. People date younger for different reasons.
Yeah, maybe he likes to dominate women, and she likes to be dominated, and maybe that relationship there is a imbalance that both of them like.
Yeah, I mean, although it is legal, but we're all looking at it like it's immoral.
Is it?
I mean, it just looks weird.
Why?
19 and 54. Yeah, the charges are immoral.
Well,
too.
what are the charges?
So,
what are the
what
charges?
he's been accused of.
Oh, the charges, yes, the charges. But they have had this weird relationship where they've had this bondage type sexual relationship
that is what
going
he's
on
alleging.
for over 2 years, and he feels that it's a shakedown of the relationship. I don't know where the relationship went wrong. This is why I'm never having sex again, because I don't want to. You're not going to take my last $10.
You just said you got some plans this weekend.
Hey, listen. Nope. Canceling everything. Nope.
But I mean, of course, like he's in the public eye. We just heard he's about to be, getting this big contract from his YouTube channel or his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're dealing with somebody like that, they're gonna try to get money out of you.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that he's very notable. He makes a lot of money, and you just don't really know who you're dealing with when you meet random individuals online or anybody.
Right.
But he's getting what he wants out of the relationship.
Well, if that's the price he wants to pay, because I just feel like when you're a person, not even just a man, a person that has that type of fame and fortune, you have to be careful because people are always going to try to get something out of you.
Now, back in the 90s, there was a woman named Heidi Fleiss who took care of these issues very discreetly. And that's what...
Explain, please.
Well, Heidi Fleiss was the Hollywood madam.
Okay.
And so Heidi Fleiss had a plethora of women that somebody like Shannon Sharpe could call.
Okay.
And she would send...
They have like NDAs and stuff.
Listen, I don't even know if it was that, but she would basically... Let's say I want X, Y, and Z. I'd call Heidi up, and Heidi would send X, Y, and Z over to my house, and it would be very discreet.
Wow.
And these type of things wouldn't happen.
Wow.
You have now Heidi eventually got busted. I don't know how.
Yeah, because I was like, this sounds like sex trafficking.
Something like that.
Okay.
It's okay. All right. Yeah. The courts will decide.
Okay.
Yes. It is. Right. It is something like that.
Okay,
and Heidi Fleiss, I do believe, went to jail.
Okay.
Because prostitution in this country is illegal, except in 2 counties in Nevada.
Okay, I was wondering where we were going with this.
Listen, at this point in time, if Heidi Fleiss was doing that now, it probably wouldn't be frowned upon, because if you go down the street here in Los Angeles on Figueroa, or as they call it, the Blade.
I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah, there's open prostitution going on here. They
they
don't look at it like they used to back in the 90s. So it would be a different situation now. And matter of fact, if there's a place in society for prostitution. If a woman wants to go sell her body, have at it. Now, there's people use that narrative to say, oh, we don't want trafficked people, and there's a place for that also. But that's just me talking. All right, let's go to the Zoom here. Who do we have on the line here? Hi. Zandra, how are you?
Zandra.
I'm amazing. How are you?
Great.
Good. I love that queen shirt in the back.
Yes.
Go ahead now. I love the hair.
Thank you.
So, Woo, what's your question?
Well,
I'm sorry. You're our next guest. I thought this was just a random caller. Okay. So you're with Black People Meet Adventure.
Yes.
Nice.
Black
Singles Meet Adventure. This is the group where black singles meet up all across the country. There are it's a Facebook group. Is that where?
That's correct.
Where it originates? Where are you based out of?
I'm in Dallas.
Hey, I'm from Dallas.
DFW, okay.
Let's go.
So how was the group in Dallas? Because we were talking to somebody out of Atlanta,
Okay.
and he said he kind of met somebody, and they almost kicked him out the group because he got a relationship, and
Well, Dallas, we're still trying to make sure that our people meet up a little bit more often than they do. But, outside of that, I mean, the Atlanta group, because it's based out of Atlanta. So they meet up a lot, but you cannot have a relationship and be in the group.
Well, we gotta. Okay, so first let's get the group going, all right, and then if we need a spinoff group for the relationship people.
Yes.
Well, can you test them out? Like, what if you start something with somebody and you like, I ain't feeling them. Let me try somebody else.
You can test out something, but like once you've solidified and you all are together and it's a thing, then this is not the group for you.
What makes it solidified? Like having sex, or you guys say we are a couple?
I think once you hit official.
Well, we gotta see what is that defined as?
You official, like more than just a flirtation type situation, right?
Well, I don't know that it's really defined, because the group premise is not about hooking up. The group premise is all about meeting people, having adventures, having fun. When you have your friends and you
Is this like black people frolicking and having fun?
Yes.
Okay.
We're frolicking. Yes.
Okay.
We frolic because when you try to plan a trip and it's 100 people want to go, and then when it's time to go, it's like one of you or two.
I got you.
So now we just meet up with people who actually want to meet up and actually want to do it.
So why do we need this group, and why don't things happen naturally? Because
that's a great question. Why don't they happen naturally? I mean, a lot of times I think our friend groups, they can't do it. So we just go outside of it forces us to go outside of our normal. It forces us to go outside of our house, go outside, meet with someone, even if it's just to meet for drinks or if it's meet to do a vacation, just go outside.
Are you finding people not going outside anymore? Like people are
everybody's online.
Yeah, like people are being stuck inside the house.
DMs.
They are. They're inside. They're on their couch with a blanket, fuzzy socks, and they're not leaving the house.
DoorDash.
I saw an app recently that was like have dinner with strangers, which I thought was the coolest thing ever.
Yes.
I was like, I would love to do that. That was so dope. And I don't know if it was like a dinner date thing, and it was something. I lost it, but. That would be cool.
It's good.
That would be cool for you guys to do too. Like, instead of just going to go plan an adventure, let's all go out and have dinner somewhere.
And that's what we do. Like, for instance, someone today on the group hit me up and say, hey, I'm going to be in Dallas. Well, is anyone available? And so tomorrow I'm meeting up with somebody I've never met before. I mean, we're just going to have drinks and probably, frolic a bit and then go about.
What's frolic mean, girl? Nah.
No. Well, first it's a female. But secondly, we just go out. We just hang out, do something fun. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller.
Yeah.
It's just about meeting other people.
I'm from Dallas originally. Is it harder to meet Black people in Dallas?
It's just hard to meet. I think so. I mean, I've been here for quite a while. I've been here in Dallas 20 years, but part of that time I was married, but I'm divorced. So now I'm like on the dating scene, and it does seem difficult. It's very difficult because you have people who portray that they want a relationship and they don't.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing.
When I come to Dallas, I'm going to rent my Airbnb in Oak Cliff, and then
no.
He knew what he was saying.
I was like, don't do that.
What's wrong with Oak Cliff?
He knew what he was saying.
Yeah, if you mention Oak Cliff, you know.
I'm gonna rent my Airbnb in Oak Cliff. I support Oak Cliff.
Okay.
All right. I got like CDs of the Oak Cliff Assassins. I'm a big fan.
Okay, look at you.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm gonna go on the Facebook group. Black people single. Wait, what is it? It's Black
Singles Meet
Adventures. All right, and then we're gonna look. Is this every weekend?
This is whenever. It could be a weekday. I mean, the group, it's just very fluid. So there are people that are all over the country. I mean, if I'm on a Tuesday, I do a lot of traveling for work. So If I'm on a Tuesday, I happen to be in your city, I'm like, hey, is anybody available to hang out?
Wait,
Great.
so it's one group and everybody goes in and say, hey, I'm in Dallas, let's go meet. It's not broken down by city or anything like that.
No, and we do have like group chats for different cities, some states, depending on, how fluid they are. And we may say, hey, Dallas crew, like I did Dallas crew, hey, I want to go do the game show thing. And so does anybody want to do that? So, because that's not practical to ask people all over, but we do have people say, hey, I'm not doing anything that weekend, I'll fly in.
Really?
So, yeah.
What's the age range of the group?
It's all over the place. I would say definitely probably 30s to 50s, somewhere in there as far as the active people. But I would say that to me, that more active people are probably in those 40s, that 40s range there, 30s, 40s.
Do you know of anybody who's gotten married from the group yet?
No, I don't know if anyone's gotten married. I've only been in the group for about a year.
Okay.
And I don't know, but I do know someone in the group just announced that they are getting married. Not a couple, but they're getting married, so they're like, saying their goodbyes. But
wow, so it works.
All right, well,
it does work.
All right, so I like this. So I'm going to join the group on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe we need to get a website up also. You
said you were tired of dating, so you convinced me.
I like this just for meeting up because
you're right.
I think it's very important. I really believe that we have gotten so addicted to the convenience of getting everything delivered to us and not coming out of our houses, not going out and doing things, meeting people in person. The art of conversation seems to be dying. The intimate connection of looking you in the face. It's I don't know. It's all doing. Listen, we got to go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. On Facebook, the group is there. More of this conversation when we come forward. Thank you so much. This is Late Night Love.
Thank you.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And neighborhoods come up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Don Amici with Successful Brim. And let's get back to some social media videos where poster Cap Season has a question for her man.
Okay, so I have a question. When in a relationship and dating somebody, do you guys ask for things or do you wait for them just to offer you something? For example, if you're dating and we'll just use something small, nothing big, and a girl asks a guy, hey, baby, can you get my hair done? Or do you just wait for the guy to be walking around and be like, baby, take this money and go get your hair done. Because me personally, I want both. I want you to be aware of me, sir. You see my nails? Okay. Say, hey, baby, go take care of your nails. And also on the flip side, if I see my nails, be like, hey, baby, can you get my nails done? That's what I'm on. Because the moment you tell me no, now we got to reevaluate some things. Because when you leave this house, what do you be doing? You don't go outside to get no money? You be out there playing? Or is it because I have my own money and I need to spend my own money because you don't want to spend your money on me? Now, that's a bigger problem. Because we got to reevaluate this whole situation thing. Because what?
So I saw a guy, he had a video. He said, don't start asking me for money until we done slept together about 3-4 times. That's when you can start asking me for some money, which I think is a very accurate thing. But the question is, this is very interesting. At what point do you start spending money on your woman? Now, if you got it, I don't mind, and you should give your woman some money. You should work that into a budget to get her hair and nails done. I think if you can afford that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or at least, maybe once a month. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the financial circumstances are.
Mm-hmm.
But, at least put some money to contribute towards that. Because you do want to make sure that she's not stressed out and that she's able to maintain a certain level of beauty. I think that benefits both of you.
Well, what I was going to say when I was listening to it, what I heard is she wants to feel cared for. I honestly think everybody wants to feel cared for. So she's like, oh, if you see that my nails need to be done, like, oh, hey, babe, here, go get your nails done.
Well, I don't know.
See that.
Well, I'm ignorant to this. I don't know what goes on. You just show up and it's done. I don't know what's going on there. So I don't know when your hair or your nails need to be done. I don't know when your lipstick running low, your eyelash.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's why she also said, or if I'm like, hey, my nails need to be done, can you? Like you said, work it into the budget if you care about the woman that you're with.
Listen, what I am going to do is I'm going to educate myself, and I'm going to ask you to educate me on what your schedule is on your nails.
Because that sounds like you care.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If we have a conversation and I have the funds to pay for some of this beauty maintenance because I care about you, you like it, then I'm going to say, how often do you get your nails done? Let me start seeing if I can budget maybe once a month to kind of help you out with that.
Right. I think that's the overall picture, just showing that you're paying attention to me for one, that you care about my well-being, that you want to contribute to this relationship, that you do see me as an investment. And it goes both ways. Like if I see you wearing the same boxers every day, I'm like, okay, let me go to Ross real quick.
Yeah.
Get you, like something like that. Like it's just showing that you care about your partner. And that's important.
Now come in here and close the door. Close the door. Come in here and close the door.
What?
Get my nail money. Let's go to Nicholas on the Zoom. Hey, Nicholas.
How's it going?
All right.
Hey.
Can't complain.
So, just as to that, I kind of, you always hear that if you can't afford a woman, you can't afford to date. I think that's kind of bogus. I buy my girl stuff because I enjoy it, not necessarily because she does.
That's good.
I also think that this, type of approach serves to dismantle some of those patriarchal values in dating, that have existed for so long. So I think it works not only to benefit both people, but it kind of works to benefit the greater good of, the dating scene.
So what do you mean by if you can't date or if you can't afford to date, you shouldn't date? You don't think that makes sense? How does that not make sense to you? Because wouldn't that put like a financial strain or pressure on your relationship?
Yeah, but I think that also helps to kind of, if that's your person, that's your person. I don't think money necessarily needs to be, the end all be all, if that makes sense.
Do you think you work to get to that point? Because when you're dating, when I think about dating, I'm thinking you getting to know people, not in a relationship. Now, in a relationship, what you're saying may make sense.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, for sure. But you can always go on a cheap date, put it all out in the open.
Now, do you have a budget?
Broke,
you got a budget for your girl? Where you take care of a little maintenance for her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't budget it out. I just kind of do it when I feel like it, though.
Okay.
You sound like a great guy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
all right,
awesome.
Nicholas.
Yeah, well,
Are you a fan?
That way.
We had Angry Man on earlier. Are you a fan of Angry Man?
I didn't see that earlier.
Okay.
I was watching the Wolves game.
Ah.
Ant.
Oh, did you watch the draft?
Yeah, I'm a Seahawks guy.
Did Shador Sanders get drafted yet?
No.
Oh.
Shador is undrafted. I think some of his off-field antics might be to blame, but I do hope that he gets drafted soon.
Thanks for the sports
I
update.
hope so. Yeah, well, I just had to get a sports update during the show. All right, but one last question, Nicholas. How long have you been with your girlfriend?
About 2.5 years.
All right. Well, listen, man, that's good. Well, keep up the good work,
Are
man.
you going to propose?
Well, no way you rushing them now.
Well, I just want to know. The people want to know.
Someday I'd hope to, yeah, for sure.
All right. All right. Well, keep your fingers crossed for Shador, and someday I hope you do propose to that woman. I hope she treats you right.
I appreciate it.
Treat
Thanks.
each other right.
Say a prayer for the Sanders family, please.
Will do.
All
Will
right,
do.
Thank you.
No, I'm just saying.
We got to make
Goes
sure
both
that
ways.
Shador gets a team.
Oh, okay.
You got to say a prayer for that. All right, let's keep this thing moving tonight. And thank you. You can join the show by zooming into the show, just like Nicholas did, with the QR code on the screen. And we're going to be taking your calls and talking about love, relationships, and playing some more videos tonight. Earlier, we heard about we heard from poster Cap Season about getting her nails paid for. Here's Prince Donald with a post about men and money.
Ladies, you have to understand that when a man is not where he wants to be financially and you feel like you lost connection with him, it's not that he's ignoring you or that he no longer loves you. That man is dealing with a level of financial pressure that you may not even understand. Dude is going back and forth in his head of whether he's a failure or not, how to get out of this situation, how to navigate, like he's losing himself in the process, because when a man is struggling financially or under financial pressure, he's not even making logical decisions most of the time. He's trying to figure out how to navigate. And if he's a really good man that takes care of his wife, his children, and his family, bro, this guy's stressed out. And you making it about yourself actually makes it worse, when in reality, part of the reason why he wants to be financially successful is for you. Think about that. Now, what can you actually do in the process? Well, number one, pray for that man as much as humanly possible. And if you don't know the word, then you should learn the word. Because if this man is out here grinding, when there's a lot of guys out here who are deadbeats, you should honor that man. Pray for him as much as humanly possible. Pray for his spirit, because right now his spirit is torn. He's trying to figure it out.
That is a man's favorite word, figure it out. A man does deal with a lot of anxiety when it comes to finances. I do believe a lot of men are trying to figure it out when it comes to taking care, especially if they're in a relationship, taking care of their woman, pay the bills, provide, and then also upgrade their life so that they can provide a better life for their family, which ultimately provides for their woman.
Right, and it can also bring on like shame and guilt, like you just said, men feel like they have to provide for their family, for their woman. And when they can't do that, they can feel like, I'm failing at life. I'm failing at leading my family. So it can bring on depression and stress and anxiety, and also a huge strain on the relationship.
Do you feel like that? Have you ever felt like that with finances? In your relationship at all? Never? You've never felt that level?
I can't speak from a man's point of view.
Well,
because
but I'm talking about from a woman's standpoint, though, from a female standpoint.
But I don't feel the pressure to have to provide. So I feel like it wouldn't be fair for me to answer that question, but I have dealt with clients who are men who have felt that way, that they feel like they have, some shame and guilt because they haven't been able to provide, maybe because they lost a job or because they have some type of financial hardship due to family issues. So that's definitely understandable.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of the control is out of their control. I mean, losing a job and trying to find another one. I've got friends right now who've been out of work or looking for work for almost a year now. And some friends longer than that. And they've been knocking on doors. And then the older you get, the harder it is to find gainful employment that is meaningful.
Have you felt that pressure before?
Yes, but I've always been able to kind of work for myself and hustle. So, I've been able to provide for myself, but trying to find gainful employment where there's a steady paycheck, that's always been hard.
And has it made a strain on the relationship you were in at that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten easier as I've gotten older. But yeah, it's always been a strain. I remember when I was married, my ex-wife was like, go get a real job. Because I've been working in radio and entertainment for 20-some, 30 years. But she was like, go get a real job. Go get a job as a welder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was some substance to what she was saying, although it was disrespectful to
your passion,
my passion and career.
Yeah.
But, going to go get a job as a welder or working on an oil rig, this is when I was in North Texas, there was some substance to that. I mean, working in the oil field or an oil rig, although I didn't want to do that, was a very lucrative paying job.
Right.
And was steady and probably could provide it.
Right.
But I don't know how happy I would have been.
So what made you not go do that? Why you got that pressure put on you, but you didn't say, okay, let me go be a welder. I want to still pursue my dream in entertainment.
I just had a passion for broadcasting, and I did not want to give up on it. And so I, was adamant about focusing on that. I mean, look, I started off in broadcasting in Los Angeles. I went to one of the smallest cities in the country, and then wound back up in one of the largest cities in the country. I worked my way from small market to big market, and then even with my voiceover business, I one client at a time. I mean, I hustled and worked, calling program directors, reaching out to consultants. Like, I worked my behind off for my career. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't handed to me. I kind of earned everything I got and word of mouth and stuff like that. So, but it was a long process with a lot of sacrifice.
Well, that's good you didn't let that pressure, determine who you were and how you were going to become successful in your life.
But it was hard, though.
Of course,
I got divorced.
Oh, wow. Was that one of the reasons, the financial
No. We were just
okay.
incompatible. But then, working in broadcasting, there's only so many broadcast stations in one city. So I had to leave. I had to leave my son.
Oh.
I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So, and then on top of that, you only stay in one city for so long, so you're constantly on the move. So there were challenges, and then the industry gets weird after a while. So, and then sometimes you're out of work.
Yeah.
So earnings do play on your self-esteem and your psyche. And when you're working, you're good. And especially, and when you're working and you have a good partnership, you're even better.
Right.
But then when you can't provide for that partnership and then you don't have a job, you kind of feel crappy.
Inadequate, yeah.
And then, and then everything, that old adage, when it rains, it pours.
Right.
So it's
Well, look at you now on TV, Fox Soul. Check you out.
Check me out. Sitting next to success. Who would have thought? More late night love and your phone calls, your Zoom calls. We'll check the chat, and we'll have more videos on relationships, love, and sex when we come forward.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
Shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Hey, it's your girl Carolina Sanchez, and the Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici with Successful Brim, and we are taking your calls over Zoom as we talk about love, relationships, maybe a little sex here and there. We talk with psychologists, psychiatrists, and angry men.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the Angry Man. We had him on earlier. You can check him out on YouTube, at the Angry Man. The Beano Nation. You can follow him on that. Who else did we talk to? Dr. G.
Yeah. The singles group in Dallas.
The single group. The Beano Nation call in. What was it? The Black Singles Adventure Group.
Yeah.
No, Black Singles Meet Adventure Group.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Shouts out to them.
Everybody on YouTube right now in the chat.
Shouts out to everybody on YouTube on the chat. Let's keep this moving. Get over to another clip. Poster Ty the Goddess likes what this man has to say about his fellow men.
A lot of times we hear on social media that a man will change for the right woman. And I don't believe that. I feel like a lot of good women get done wrong because us as men don't deal with the trauma from our childhood. We don't deal with the trauma from our past relationships. We don't outgrow the mindset that was instilled in us, or the majority of us, when we were younger. A man will change when he's ready to become a good man. Because even when I look at our relationship, you have always been the right woman. You have always been a good woman. But in the beginning, I was blinded by my immaturity that I couldn't see everything that you brought to the table. And it wasn't until I was ready to become a better man, until I was ready to change my way of thinking, that I saw you for the woman that you are. So it's not that men will change for the right woman. It's when a man is ready to become the right man, then he will make the changes. Because there are a lot of men who missed out on good women because they wasn't mature enough to recognize what that woman brought to the table.
I want to say that this is everybody's growth process, but it's not. That's the growth process of someone who's probably gone to therapy, who is looking to, who is probably tired of the circle repeating itself.
Right.
And looking for growth in his life. And so he's probably like, I got to stop this cycle that's happening.
Right.
And is looking for change. And,
Right.
and went and found the change.
Right.
And through that change, matured and looked at his ways and said, oh, God, I've been doing this. And you just saw the immaturity throughout his life. There's also a lot of people who ignore the cycles.
Right.
And pass the blame on to other people, and they just keep on going and going and going and going.
Yeah, that's when you have to have self-awareness. You know, sometimes you get into the same relationship, and you probably don't realize it until you're talking to that friend, that homegirl, that homeboy, and you're like, dang, they just like my ex. That's because you have something that you have to work on internally. And once you find that and get the help that you need, then you can date differently and you have that, you know, growth that starts to happen within you.
Yeah, this is why I say I'm not dating anymore, because I'm like, I listen, I believe everybody, I take everybody's word. I'm like, oh, you're healed? Oh, wow, me too.
But you got to put in the work. Like, you have to, if you really want to date and get to know a person, you got to put in the work.
What does the work look like?
Trial and error. Communication, learning each other. Because you're not going to automatically get together and like, oh, you're perfect for me, I'm perfect for you. That's not how it goes.
Well, then it ends up being this, like, I don't know, 3-year-long courtship of me, like, I'm still waiting to see.
Well, no, that's when you got to set boundaries. You know, you got to set a time frame for yourself.
No, I'm still waiting to see.
3 years.
I'm waiting to see. Yeah, see if I'm still waiting to see if you know, the red flags are going to pop up. Who's this on the? All right, Jeffrey on the Zoom. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. I can't complain.
Hi, I just want to ask. I had a question. I wrote it down, but I can't see it now. But yeah, I want to know. First, how long have y'all like been together, and like how do y'all make it work? Like working with, like you're working with your significant other, like especially with like hosting like a show together and everything. Like how do y'all make that like work? Because I hear people have issues like working with their significant other.
Oh.
Well, Don isn't that lucky.
Yeah, I don't. So I'm single. I think successful's married.
Yeah.
I think you have to be very mature, I believe, and be with someone who's mature.
So we're not together.
So we're not together, but you have to be mature and have a mature partner.
Are we giving off couple vibes? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're giving off couple vibes.
Let's see. Are we?
Are you still there?
Oh, am I still here?
Yeah.
Are we giving off couple vibes?
I'm sorry, I was listening to because I'm watching on the TV.
No, yeah.
Well, yeah, I tuned in. I mean, I guess y'all just have like good chemistry, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I'm not, I wasn't sure, so I just.
No, we just talk a lot about relationships, and she has a background in psychology. She's a clinical forensic psychologist, and she's going to be defending her PhD here pretty soon. And so I've done a lot of therapy, and we tend to.
Oh, that's where it's coming from.
Well, I've done 10 years in therapy, so What's your issue? You got a girlfriend? Are you single?
I'm single right now, but I just, when you meet people like your coworkers and stuff, I just thought that y'all were coworkers and like y'all like hosted together, like y'all are like together and hosted together. So they say don't I guess how would you say on TV, like don't like
poop
bark where you eat or something like that. You know what I mean?
Have you ever dated on the job?
Not necessarily like dated, like just me like. Like natural relationship, but I also think that's some good advice though, just from life, that you probably shouldn't
Well, I mean, listen, one of my very long-term relationships I met was a woman that I met at work.
Why you look at me?
I'm not looking at. I'm just.
Okay.
What are you talking about? No, I was in a long-term relationship with a woman I met at work, and we were together, love of my life.
Aw.
Yeah, and we broke up. So she also broke my heart.
Oh, wow. Did you get fired or she got fired?
No, none of us got fired. We moved in together, and we actually moved to another city.
And you didn't work together anymore because you moved to a different city?
I got a better paying job, and so she stayed there for a little bit longer, and then eventually moved down to where I moved down to L.A.
So it was a job thing.
Yeah,
The only thing that got fired was their love got fired up.
Oh.
Yeah, it was nice. It was the first time I was actually ever in love after I got to do a divorce.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Cute story.
Hey, all right, Jeffrey. Thanks, man, for the call. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank y'all. Have a good night.
All right. All right. Let's see. Let's go to another clip before we got to go to break. I don't even understand this. I'm the Truth Hurts 357. Here we go.
For all of the people that really, really want to get married for you. Do not get married for your friends. Do not get married for the celebration of being married, but get married for you. Go down to the Justice of Peace Court. Go do it privately. Go get some years under your belt, then throw the celebration later. Go get married for you. I am telling you right now, you're going to throw this big extravagant wedding. You're going to invite all of these people who don't really like you anyway. They're going to find all of these things to complain about. You can give them free food. They're going to complain about how that wasn't good enough. You can give them free drinks. You can complain about how that wasn't good enough. Your marriage could damn near seem perfect. They're going to be behind your back talking about how they know that it's not going to last. If you really want to be married, go jump the broom. Go down to the Justice of Peace and y'all go get married for y'all. Don't get married for the image. Don't get married because that's what everybody else is doing. Get married because you cannot imagine living this earth without your person. Everything does not have to be a photo op. Everything does not have to be an extravaganza. You can throw the celebration later. Go get some years in. Go make it past the first year of marriage and then throw the big party.
I don't know about that. I think that if you have a big family, they want to see you get married.
Yeah.
But I do understand what he's saying. I never really had a big marriage. I got married at the Justice of the Peace.
Oh, okay.
Which is very, I mean, for some people, it's cheap because weddings have gotten out of control, and then they're very expensive. I understand what he's saying that, people are talking about you at your wedding, but why are you inviting these people to your wedding in the first place?
Well, you don't even know these people are hating on you. You think that these people really are there for your love and, your union.
Yeah, did this happen to you? Were there people talking about you?
I had a bridesmaid tell me about one of my bridesmaids talking about me in my wedding.
Well, did you not know that this person didn't like you, or?
Well, I mean, I knew she was the type of person who talks about everybody.
Oh, so
but
you
I
didn't
didn't
think
know
she...
I would be the one.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
She talks about everybody, but not me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What did she say? I don't like that dress.
She was talking about the drinks at the bar, just little petty
I
stuff.
know successful could have paid for more Smirnoff vodka. This is it. That's all we got. Colt 45 for the beer. That's all we got.
And she later apologized and said she was dealing with some internal issues and she was
sometimes people are negative and they get stuck in that negative mode.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Or they're in negative environments and it carries over into other parts of their life. So that's nice. She apologized though, right?
Yeah.
All right. More late night love when we come forward. Stick around.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici with the wonderful, successful Brim here who had people talking about her wedding. At her wedding. Very interesting. All right,
Haters don't hate.
We talk about love. We talk about relationships. Did you have a lot of people at your wedding?
100, 150.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people. I mean, that's a very expensive wedding. Like you got to pay for people and drinks and food and a DJ. That's and then we got rent. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that guy we had a poster basically saying if you want to get married, go to the Justice of the Peace and then get married, and then if you want to do something, do a little celebration, which a lot of people are opting for now.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too.
Keep it to yourself if you really love the person that you want. Our next poster is one of our favorite social media posters, a Chevy Caprice from Ohio, who has a take on women who put too much emphasis on a man's finances.
So let me get this straight. A man can't text you guys, what are you doing, because you got $2,000-$3,000 worth of monthly bills? I don't think y'all really out here looking for like a real man, like an alpha man, a king, somebody who can teach you, guide you, lead you, somebody that you can actually build a foundation with, you know, get some genuine chemistry going. Y'all not looking for that. Y'all are out here looking for somebody to help you. Y'all are out here looking for a sponsor, somebody to sponsor your lifestyle. Because I'm trying to understand, when did it become a man's responsibility to even give you anything during the dating phase? A man is not responsible for your monthly bills in the dating phase. You're not his woman. And what makes you think that a man does not have his own bills? His own responsibilities. That is why a lot of you ladies cannot enjoy the dating phase, because you are out here dating for all the wrong reasons. When you are dating somebody, it should really only be about just seeing if you and this person got a connection. Can we build together? Are we on the same page? Do we got the same beliefs, the same values? Something to go along those lines. But y'all get so frustrated. Well, he keep texting me what you doing, and he ain't asking me how much is my rent and my car note. That's not his problem. A real man is not getting ready to lead with his money. Only an insecure man lead with his money. There is some man that will give you money in the first couple of months, but that's a man that don't know himself. A man that knows himself, he's going to find out a turnoff that you're even asking him for money. Allow that man to give you that good gesture. A man that is genuinely interested in you, he's going to see any type of weight that he can lift off of you, so you wouldn't have to ask to begin with. But if you ladies are out here drowning in your own monthly bills like that, to the point where you frustrated and can't date somebody for the genuine reasons, then you shouldn't be dating.
Well, I don't know if they shouldn't be dating. I've subsidized a lot of women throughout my life.
So you're a sponsor. Sugar daddy.
I don't like to say a sponsor. I've been more of a bridge.
Okay.
We
ain't tricking if you got it.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks. That's the way I look at it. But the real question I want to know is, why are women so broke? What's that about?
Dying.
Help me understand that.
Women are not broke. I think what she was trying to say is you
Women
shouldn't be depending on a man's money. And I agree with that. But you also have to make sure that this man can provide.
Are you sure women are not broke?
Dying. That does not mean you're broke. You just need to make sure that you can have a man that can provide. If you can't provide and I'm taking care of us, that's a problem.
Why? I'm expected to take care of us?
We should be able to build together. But if one person is doing the taking care of and the other person is just okay with sitting back, that's a problem that causes a strain.
I know. We're feeling the strain for a lot of years. I'm just saying.
Maybe you're dealing with broke women.
Oh, okay. I'm just, you know what? Let me stop, because women.
No, maybe you are.
No, maybe I am. Yeah. But you know what? Women have just.
But I heard y'all like that.
Broke women?
Yeah, so you can take care of them, make them feel like, oh, look what I can do for you.
There used to be a point in my life where I wanted to do, when I was younger.
Okay.
When I was younger, but no, not anymore.
Well, can you explain that? When you was younger, you wanted to?
I think there was a sense of providing for a woman. I wanted to be able to go out. There's programming inside of me to provide.
Okay.
So remember I told you I fell in love with the woman at work.
Right.
Right? So I got a job. It's making like six figures. And we moved back down to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 6 figures. I had making money on the side with my business.
Okay.
And I was like, you don't have to work anymore.
Oh, the magic words.
But they weren't. Because what I was in that moment was failing to recognize was that she wanted a life too.
Yeah.
She wanted to work.
Yeah.
But I said, you don't have to.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was sit at home and do whatever you want to do.
Oh, so you had a problem that she wanted to work.
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's what you were supposed to do. I was supposed to go to work, pay all the bills, and you were supposed to do
Well, you have different type of women. Like, I would always want to work. If my husband told me you don't have to work, I still want to work.
If she wanted to start a business, but what I didn't understand, and I was 26 at the time. What I didn't understand at the time was that she wanted to figure her life out and find out who she was and build her own career, where she was still trying to understand and grow who she was at the time. And so we were both young and we didn't have the necessary skills. Maybe therapy would have been a good time to explore that together, but didn't really come up or didn't have anybody pointing us in the right direction.
Well, maybe she's listening now.
She's married. She has another kid. She's good. I talked to her. She's trying to become a sheriff deputy, no, a detention officer.
Oh,
So good for her.
So you like women in charge?
Okay, let's move on. Have you ever heard of lava love?
No, what's that?
Well, therapist Veronique Esther explains.
Men trust time, but women trust feelings. Men trust time, but women trust feelings. I was just having a conversation with one of my best friends, and she was talking about a dude that she was dating, and everything was going so well. They had such great interaction. But when she kind of made a bid for validation of the connection, he responded kind of damp. She felt like he didn't really give her the energy that she was giving him, in the sense of like, I'm so excited about this. And he was like, yeah, no, this is cool. We'll see how it goes over time. And she kind of felt offended by that. And I was like, don't be. That's actually the mark of somebody who is actually trying to vet the situation. And I think that sometimes women want validation for their feelings, and like they want to feel all of the goopy feelings up front. They want all of the burst of emotions and excitement that they're feeling in their bodies, and want that to be reciprocated from men. But men do not process emotions and relationships the same way that women do. A while back, I had a conversation with a friend, and we would talk about how I tend to love explosive love. Like I tend to be all in the beginning, and then eventually it just kind of fizzles out. But I realized that I really would value relationships more if I gave it more of a lava love. And what lava love is it takes time to build up, but when it does, it erupts. It has lasting implications. It's stronger. It has more hold, if that makes sense. It has more impact on the relationship for a longer period of time, as opposed to a bomb going off.
So it just oozes out slowly. It just oozes down instead of just real fast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Women want like goofy love all quick?
I don't think that she was saying goofy.
Well, I mean, maybe you could help me understand, because I didn't quite get what she was saying. Like, you guys feel love.
She wants it to heat up, like a volcano, the lava. She wants it to heat up, that's all the work, and then when it comes out, it's actually something that was built on the inside.
And just hit you in the face?
When it comes out and it goes down, it changes everything that's around, because you work so hard together, and it's, long lasting.
But what did she say in the beginning about women? What women want? They want this quick thing, like they want to feel all this.
Well, she said explosive, like, yeah, you want to, feel that chemistry immediately, like, oh, that's the one.
That's what women want.
Well, I think people, I wouldn't just say women, but
women
people want to know the
fireworks.
chemistry. Yeah, you want to be like, oh my gosh, I can't stop thinking about, like. But, that's not the case all the time. You got to build that connection. You got to really get to know the person and actually try to take the time to learn each other.
And then it just bursts.
Okay.
No, I'm just.
But isn't that, how do you do relationships? You don't try to take your time? Or you prefer it to be slow, or?
I don't know. I would like to. I like the butterfly feelings and the connection, and then I like to just take time to really get to know you. I like to get lost in. I always say, let's go somewhere and get lost in conversation.
Oh,
That's
to everybody.
Not with.
Now ladies.
More of this conversation when we come forward.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like, it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Don Amici with Successful Brim, and you can join the conversation on Zoom. Just click the QR code in the corner of the screen. Be part of the conversation, or go to our YouTube page, Late Night Love on the Fox Soul YouTube page, and you can join the chat function. A lot of people, when you were talking to Angry Man, where they were just putting cap.
That's okay.
It was funny.
I like the crowd interaction.
It was hilarious. I was like, I love it. It's funny.
That's the part of being in the business.
No, he has a very loyal audience, and it's very hard when you have a male-orientated audience that when a woman starts speaking,
You just enjoyed that.
Yes.
You love it.
Well, you have this thing like we're competing in there. There's like a fight going on over here.
Not at all.
When we went to break, she's like, I won that round.
I mean, I did win the last one. Y'all seen it.
What? There's not a competition going on here. We're just talking about relationships and love.
Okay.
Golly. Let's move on to another clip, man. Another favorite poster of ours goes by the handle of Thoughts by Lex, and she says, don't be nice.
I want another thing. Stop being nice to these men. They don't want no nice woman. They want somebody that's mean to them. You over there trying to figure out what to do, helping him in situations and scenarios, things coming up in his life. You look like Pete Misha. That's what you look like. Don't help no grown man. Don't help no grown man. Hear me when I say this, and don't be nice to no grown man. Men love mean women. You being nice to him ain't gonna make him nice to you. All it's gonna do is make him act worse. So when he act up, you act wronger. It's not a word, but you need to do the most. Show him who's really in charge. You get what I'm saying? Men love when a woman is mean to them. Get out of that, oh, my heart just so good. You can have a good heart. You sure can. But be mean. And get what you want. I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all being nice. And nice gets you nowhere in this world.
I mean, so either she's projecting because somebody just recently broke her heart. Because I think the last video we saw by Thoughts by Lex, she was saying something similar to this. And we were trying to figure out where she's from. I'm still thinking she's somewhere in Alabama. Nowhere in the history of nowhere does any man want a woman to be mean to them unless they are into some type of kink.
I get what she's trying to say. I think she's trying to say don't let your guard down so soon, and you probably can't let it down at all because she's probably been scarred. So I think...
No, she's saying don't be nice. She's specifically saying
that's
don't be nice.
Well, that's letting your guard down. It's like, being nice, generous, caring, doing too much, making somebody feel like you probably love them more than you love yourself.
Why are we playing games?
But I feel like that's what I took from the video.
But I mean, why are we playing games though? Like why?
Yeah. I think the playing the games, that's very immature.
Yeah, it's just like it's too much. If you have to play games with somebody to be in a relationship or to get them to like you, then that's not really the person for you.
No, not at all. I agree.
There's 1,000 southern towns in Alabama that you can move to with 1,000, I'm pretty sure, nice young men that would love a beautiful chocolate sister like yourself. So please find another one. All right.
That's some good advice, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on now. I mean, but that's just my perception. It looks like somebody hurt you, and I'm pretty sure there's somebody who would love you.
There you go.
Here's another post from, let's see, Sydney Rosant about a tactic I'm sure most people really don't like.
The silent treatment has got to be the most ineffective form of conflict resolution ever. If there's a problem, it's probably better to acknowledge it and work to solve the problem within your relationship rather than ignore the person that you have a problem with, who you are also romantically involved with. So many people wonder why they're in toxic relationships and why their relationships always have so much conflict, but here you are being silent and perpetuating the conflict.
Yeah, silent treatment doesn't work, and that's a very immature thing to do. Although taking a beat.
Yeah, that's totally different from silent treatment.
Yeah.
When you're saying, you know what, let's table this conversation. Right now is not the time for it. Totally different from just completely ignoring somebody, because that's emotional abuse.
Is it?
No, it really is. It's emotional abuse.
I was in a relationship once, and I was so triggered and so angry and trying to resolve a situation, and she just could not.
It's a sense of punishment.
She couldn't answer any question that I had for her. She just didn't know what to say.
Yeah, that's punishment and control, and it makes you feel probably rejected and emotionally neglected.
Emotionally neglected, in a serious hole, and just trying to figure out, just going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then unfair.
Yeah.
Why are you emotionally torturing me?
That's exactly what it is.
You know, and then you've got this power over me. It's just, it's hideous.
Yeah, it's abuse. It really
is. It really is
It
abuse?
is. It's emotional abuse.
Can I file charges? Is it too late?
Oh, my gosh.
No? Is it too late? No, it's not.
You can talk to your therapist to work through it.
This is like 20 years ago.
I mean, you may still have some trauma from it. Emotional abuse is very significant, just like physical abuse.
I've gotten over that a long time ago. But I want Can I sue, maybe? Emotional? No, I can't even sue. I tell you, no justice for men.
I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you any legal advice.
Yeah. Have you ever done that to your husband at all?
I'm a firm believer in let's not have this conversation right now. I'm not in the emotional space to talk to you about this.
Okay, that's one thing. Do you set a time to revisit? Because that's a one thing, but like you're also leaving me on the edge of like, when do we get a chance to revisit? So do you say, I'm not in the emotional space right now to have this conversation. Let's talk about it tonight at 8:00.
Yes, I think it's very important to set a time.
Okay, so we do set the time thing.
Right.
Okay.
And then sometimes he's like, well, I'm not ready at this time. So then we have to reset a time.
Okay, but as long as there is a
Yeah.
date to set the time. But that's cool, though. That gives you a chance to cool off. And then if he's not ready, he has a chance to reset the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? Maybe both of you guys, by the time you reset and come together, I'm sorry.
Who cares anymore?
Who cares
It's
anymore?
over.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. And you know what? And that time together gives you a chance to rethink everything instead of going after each other in the moment.
Having the notepad ready.
Yeah. It's like everybody take a score. It's like, why? And then sometimes you might like, why were we mad again?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you spilled the milk or you drank less of the orange juice, and I told you that was my cookie, and you know, it's just something stupid at the end of the day. All right, but that's a good tool. So sometimes take a beat,
right?
But never give your partner the silent treatment.
No,
that is emotional abuse at the end of the day. And if you love someone and you're in a relationship with someone, it's okay to take a moment, take a beat, but don't
make somebody feel unheard and invalid. Like,
yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, more of this conversation when we come forward. Stick around.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, But blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. My name is Don Amici with the wonderful, successful Brem here. Join the conversation with the QR code right there in the corner of the screen. We are playing videos talking about love, relationships, and this one is from poster Sydney Fields. Let's see here. She's talking about what has changed her tune when it comes to interactions with her boyfriend.
Things I had to change in order to let my boyfriend lead as someone who grew up very independent. I was literally raised to be an independent woman. First things first, you don't need to question everything in the moment. My first response to everything would be, why? Who said? That doesn't make sense. Explain it. Just like that too, with an attitude every time. Sometimes, especially if you know you got a good man, you just listen and ask questions later. Just do it. Next one, I had to stop being so aggressive with everything I said. You'll be amazed at what softening your voice when you're talking to your boyfriend will do. Instead of, why am I doing that? I would say, what? I don't understand. Or, wait, I don't get it. Can you help me understand that? It completely changes the way that they respond to you and everything. Just trust me. Next thing, stop thinking you know everything. You don't. Especially if you're someone who thinks you're pretty smart and you know that most of the time you're right. That doesn't mean you're always right, and that doesn't mean he's wrong. I'm definitely a know-it-all, so it was really hard for me to accept that maybe I can be wrong, especially when it came to my boyfriend. I don't know why. But now if I think he's wrong, I'm just like, okay, let's see how this plays out. Last but not least, do not disrespect him and calling him less of a man or telling him to man up. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. There's nothing a man hates more than a woman telling him how to be a man.
I want to know where she attained this knowledge from. Like, was there a wiser woman in her life, like an auntie or a grandmother or her mother? You know, because it takes time and failure for some women to learn what she seems to be learning at a young age. She seems to be learning it very young because what she's doing is kind of somewhat holding her tongue,
right?
Waiting till problems or things play out,
right,
before she says anything,
right?
And the biggest one was changing her tone,
right? Mm-hmm.
Which a lot of people don't know. A woman's tone, and it may not even be on purpose, but sometimes your tone can come off as, it may be passion,
right,
but it can come off as anger.
Right, yeah, that's a part of learning how to communicate properly.
Yeah, just sometimes the energy level, just bring it down a little bit.
Right. Yeah, she probably learned that through trial and error, through family members, observing her, mom and dad probably. But she definitely mentioned a lot of great things because that's going to build a real healthy, strong, long-lasting relationship with the right partner, because some people, of course, can take advantage of that.
Yeah, sometimes you sound like an angry black woman, but I know you're just passionate. And like right now, you're doing good. You lower the tone. So you're learning a lot.
But we just had the angry man on here. I'm pretty sure he was black.
He wasn't angry at all. He was very nice and calm and.
I'm very nice and calm.
Hold on. Lower your voice. Well, come on.
You're right.
Stop yelling.
You're right. I'm working on it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Listen, shouts out to Sydney, poster Sydney Fields, and everybody else whose video we play. We'd love to have you on the show to talk to her. I'm going to see if we can get Sydney on, because I would love to talk to her about where she got this knowledge from.
Yeah.
Some of these posters, though, I do feel like they're trolling me with some of it, like some of it's just clickbait.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. Some of it's just like some of it sounds so out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're just trolling me just for clicks. But we, Chevy. Let me see. Chevy Caprice. Who else we got? Thoughts by Lex.
Yeah.
We want you. Sydney Fields.
Yeah.
Who else we got here? Poster Trey Terrell,
Yes.
Ty the Goddess,
Definitely.
Cap Season,
Prince Ali.
Who else? Who was it?
Prince Ali.
Prince Ali.
Him and his wife.
We'll all invite you onto the show, and everybody else whose video that we play. We invite you onto the show to talk about everything because the show is all about relationships, love, and we like to dig into people's heads and figure out where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Explain yourself. All right, from relationship therapist Dr. Shante posting on Women in Tune 1, don't get married for the wrong reasons.
I recently posted a thread that said, years of being a life coach has taught me that lots of people who think they want to be married really just want to be chosen, and they are not the same. So what do I mean by chosen? There are many people who have unhealed wounds of neglect and abandonment, and as a result, struggle with issues of worthiness. And many of them believe that a romantic relationship, being coupled, being married, is an attestation, the evidence and proof that they are worthy of love. Let me tell you, if you do not believe that you are worthy of love before getting into a romantic relationship or a marriage, I don't even have enough time in this video to explain the litany of consequences that come from going into a relationship with that mindset. But I do want to tell you, my experience sitting in this chair has taught me that you can be married to somebody and still not be their choice. I have had married clients whose spouses resent them because they're not somebody else. In addition to that, being married doesn't mean, oh, I was the choice once and for all. A successful marriage means you have to keep choosing one another. Any successful relationship, any successful romantic coupling means that each person in the partnership has to keep choosing each other at every stage and evolution of development and life. And so it's not a crock pot where you just set it and forget it. Like, oh, I was the choice and that's just what it is. No, successful marriages are evidence of people who kept choosing one another.
Is she talking about like the women who want to be the pick me?
Well,
is that what she's talking about?
I mean, that plus probably having the pressures of having to be married by a certain age or your family and friends and social media and, all those reasons.
I can't imagine being married to someone and then resenting them.
Yeah, that could definitely happen.
That is, you're married to someone and you resent them?
Yeah, because you're married for the wrong reasons. And then you find out later, like, man, I probably should have done this.
Well, I do understand marrying for the wrong reasons. I got married because I wanted to have a two-parent household for my son.
Okay.
I grew up without a father, and I didn't want that for my son. And it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I resented my ex-wife, but it was definitely hard to try to make a relationship that shouldn't have been a relationship work.
Right.
Very hard. But it eventually broke down and didn't work.
Right. Because
it
it can cause a lot of conflicts and issues. If you know that you married this person for the wrong reasons, then you're probably not compatible. You're probably arguing about every little thing. You're not on the same page. There's probably issues that probably wouldn't be an issue with somebody you actually wanted to be with.
I don't know. I mean, she's still single.
You are too.
Oh, right. Maybe we were meant to be together. I should go back and marry her.
Maybe.
And then I'd be like, hey, I can call my son and be like, hey, me and your mom, we're getting back together. We're getting the band back together.
I'm so glad we just resolved your issues right here on Late Night Love.
No, I'm a pass. Oh, good. That'd be funny, though, if I tell my son I'm getting back with your mom.
What do you say? Would he love that for you?
I don't think so. No.
Oh.
No. But I do check on him. I called him today, and I always ask how his mother's doing.
Oh, so you do want her back.
No. I don't wish any ill will towards his mother. His mother, we were just different. We were young and we were different, and I wish her nothing but love. And that's his mother. I don't wish anything bad about her. And at the end of the day, we just weren't made for each other. So it is. But she is right about that. I do understand. I get it. How two people can be together. I don't. I was in that situation too.
Yeah, you're a little flustered. I can tell.
Yeah. I can't get it. Today I can't understand it, but I just had to think back. I was like, I was in that situation.
Yeah, it does have psychological effects.
Being with somebody and resenting them. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
All right. More of this conversation when we come forward.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Don Amici with the very successful Brim, who's going to be defending that PhD very soon.
Yes.
I can't wait to you finally get that Dr. Successful, that PhD.
And you have to call me Dr. Successful.
We're going to have to find some wall space to hang that PhD
right
in
there.
there. Yeah, all right. We're going to get in there. One last clip before we get out of here from Poster. What is this? Mademoiselle. Men shouldn't confuse their mate with their mom.
How many times have we heard women complain that the reason they're afraid to date a man is because they feel like that man is looking for a mother? They're not looking for a girlfriend. They're not looking for a wife. They're not looking to settle down. They want a maid. They want a mom. They want someone to take care of them. That is because a lot of you guys are not looking for a partner. You're not looking for your equal. You're not looking to build. You're looking for a woman to take care of you like your mother. We don't want to be your mother. We want to be your lover. And that's one of the main points that you guys definitely need to get from this video. Whether you're a traditional man, non-traditional man, modern man, macho man, alpha man, beta man, whatever type of man that you want to say that you are. Women do not want to be your mother, okay? We want to be your woman, your lover, your girlfriend, your wife, your partner, your equal, not your mother. We don't want to baby you. We don't want to take care of you. We don't want to wait on you hand and foot.
You know, I do believe there's characteristics of mothers and fathers that people look for in their partners subconsciously.
Right. I mean, just like they talk about daddy issues, mommy issues is a whole thing too.
I do believe there are the providing. Women want a man to provide, like their father provided for them, or paid for their nails, or gave them money and stuff like that. So subconsciously, now I do understand, not wanting to pick up and be a maid and a servant to you. I don't. Nobody should have to do that.
Right.
You should be able to be responsible for yourself.
Right.
And be mature enough.
Right.
Your wife isn't your maid.
Right. And then sometimes when the guys have the mommy issues, they do struggle with having intimate relationships.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
I mean, because when you have a strained relationship with your mom, then you are looking for that in your partner, in your woman.
And you have intimacy issues, huh?
Yeah, you can have. Yes.
I didn't know that. You learn something new every single day. Wow, look at you putting that psychology to work.
Wow.
All right. Well, any takeaways tonight before we get out of here?
Well, I had a blast. It was so much fun. And I can't wait to come back.
All right. Well, that's what everybody says. You know, listen, we all have a blast here. We have a great time here.
Yeah.
The listening lounge is going to be coming up next. You going to be anywhere this weekend?
Oh, yeah. My nonprofit, we're going to be at Walk for Autism in the city of Hawthorne. So looking forward to that.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I, put in with the autism community.
You were telling me about that.
Yes, I do. All right. The listening lounge is next on Fox. So my name is Don Amici. Real quick, where's your Instagram?
And my real name is Successful.
All right, at Don Amici. You can always join the show Monday through Friday between 9 and 11 Pacific Standard Time. Listening Lounge is next. Bye.
Welcome to Fox Soul's The Listening Lounge, where you come to find your favorite new audiobooks that will leave you inspired and wanting more. I'm your host, Derica Abraham. This week, we are showcasing Oludera Adeo's Self-Care for Black Women, where she details 150 self-care exercises designed